Alrighty, what's on the docket for today? We are heading down to the Undead Crypt to finally meet up with King Vendrick. That all goes according to plan. And then after that, we make our way to his brother's place. So we'll see how that goes. The crypt itself is interesting, to say the least. There's some areas that can be pretty oppressive. Once you sort of have it, it's not as bad. Some interesting art items worth noting that can be picked up along the way for various builds. And probably one of the last areas in the game that still retains a pretty good dark atmosphere where a torch would be a pretty good option. Whoa. Forgot about you. There's the Lady of Witches, I believe. There's 3 of them up there. This is one of those fights where having a range option could work out pretty well. Like, the witches themselves have no poise, but they have options for dispatching you at close range. Mainly a poison fog. Apparently I just have way more magic defense than I thought. Other thing worth noting is that the stabs they have are the Talisman of Beasts, essentially, from the original Dark Souls. They will let you cast sorceries, dark sorceries, and miracles, I believe. Hexes as well. So those are worth farming.
Human, do not produce light. Light and all will be buried. I'm not in this place.
So if you pull out a torch, these guys will totally attack you, but otherwise, they will not.
I am Ugdane, guardian of the crypt. Countless dead rest here in peace, cradled by the comfort of dark. Light only agitates. We have no need for it here. I am a finito. We weave death and watch over the dead. This task was granted to me by the one who gave us the first death. Countless souls rest here. Some of them from ages long ago. Some were rich, others poor. Some wise, some dull, but now they're all just dead. Did you come for him? The one called Vendrick. You will find him deeper inside. Many council servants and the like have come to fetch their lord, but they rest here now, put to death by the king's own guards. Perhaps he's not in the mood for company. In the past, humans were one with the dark. The former king of light, he feared humans. Feared that they would usher in an age of dark. How queer you humans. How you go on, never separating truth from fiction. This place is welcome to all, provided due reverence is shown. Death is equitable, accepting. We will all one day be welcomed by her embrace. Tell me what you desire. Show me reverence, and I will lend you my hand.
So, a lot of different stuff there. Probably the first off being the name, Finito, which seems to indicate that...
Crude human. Do as you please.
The word Nito essentially being is equivalent to death. There's obviously more ties and parallels to actually Nito the Grave Lord from original Dark Souls. References the Dark One. There's a very good chance that that is who he is talking about. Here. he knows Vendrick is down here. And there's a bunch of other stuff about giving the first death and things like that as well. I like Agdean quite a bit. I think he's cool. I think he's blue. That's about all I got to say, really. He can be helpful later. This, I want to say this is Estus something or other. Nope, just Fire Seed. Hello? There's something I missed. I think. Double check something real quick. Is it down here? Maybe not. Maybe I'm just crazy. Yeah, probably. What I'm thinking of is probably a little bit later. Okay, so this area can be, these areas in general just can be kind of annoying. Mainly due to these fools right here, the Lady of Pyromancers. They will continue to spawn out of these stone obelisk structures unless you break them. And they deal a considerable amount of damage in melee. They also have a host of very nasty spells that can kill you very quickly. They drop some interesting items as well, though, including a sword that can be used as a magic catalyst. Some spells as well, I want to say. Our character build is not like focused towards any of that, so I'm not really worried about trying to farm them. I just don't want them to not kill me. And honestly, I guess if we stay away from the statues, we really don't need to worry about them. The only thing is that there are bells throughout the level that these infinitely spawning undead will occasionally run in and decide to start ringing. If they do that, it summons a bunch of pyromancers. They will all come for you. Bonfire. So we'll stick to the outside edge for now. Lady of Witch up there. In fact, we can get the jump on her, I'm pretty sure. Oh, brother. Wow. So, another ascetic. Let's see. I can't remember what that item is. But it does mean taking on a pyromancer. Sure. Bracing knuckle +2. Okay, well if I want to use some really fragile weapons, I guess that's a thing. Then up here we have a bunch of fun stuff, including ghosts in the wall, and an invasion by the Nameless Usurper again. So, I'm going to just try to fight her one-on-one. She's just using that dagger still. Thing is, you just don't want to get caught on the wall. apparently have no poise. She has no poise either, though, so I guess that's something. I don't even have enough to use the miracles. I'm gonna have to start using health gems. Back here should be Aveline, I'm pretty sure, the triple hit crossbow. I have to use some weapon repair pattern at some point. Yep. That's, do I even have any? I have lots. Might as well use the rest of these. Okay. These guys can get a little bit annoying. If you have... there's a fire pyromancy that's really good for dealing with them. Otherwise, luring them out and even just skipping around them is probably the best course of action. It's worth noting they do drop those shields that they're using right now. We're just going to go around them. And those are the only set of shields in the game that you can dual wield that give you unique attack actions. So, if that's your thing... Okay, this is a dangerous area because this is where the bells are located. That's one of them right there, for example. In fact, I should be trying to get out of this area, in fact, as fast as I possibly can, because now the pyromancers come for me. And that's the wrong area. Oh god, it's another bell. This way. Wow, no, okay, that item is just lost to me. I do not remember how far they will follow me. Not that far. This is a somewhat tricky area, mainly because there is also a bell located, but it is under here. And I've run it because I'm an idiot. And that manages to summon 4 Lady Pyromancers, so... Still, we can take care of them. If I can manage to hit. Lure them one at a time. This guy clearly knows what he wants to do. Is this the same effect that I had yesterday? Might have been. It's either dark effect or dash effect, I can't remember which one. Either way, I'm sort of expecting to dismantle Beltstat now at this rate. And normally over on behind one of these gravestones here you could get Agadine as a summon, but since we're up to our 3 limit now, this thing is about to break. Hopefully this should be enough. dark buffing himself so he can do more damage, I believe. Wow. Let's get a little bit of space. I get smashed. Honestly, once again, they did most of the work, so... Which way did we come in? We've got to King Vendrick, who clearly has seen better days. It's interesting to note he's not even hostile towards you. He doesn't seem to be aware of your presence at all, for that matter. You can fight him, but there are special conditions you need to meet in order to actually even be able to deal damage to him, which have a lot of interesting lore implications and whatnot. The main thing that we're here for, though, is this. Alas, nothing happened. So that is a sign for another item we're going to use that we can get into a little bit later once we actually acquire it. Was that interaction, though, after the King's Ring was not present in the original game. It came around with the DLCs.
This ring is the symbol of the king. Use it to gain passage through the King's Gate and venture to the far east. Bearer of the curse, if you are to be the next monarch, then one day you will walk those grounds without really knowing why.
That's all we get from her. We're gonna go ahead and homeward bone back to a bonfire, then spend some souls, and then start heading towards Aldia's Keep, which is next on our list of things to do. It's interesting to note how much quicker I go through content, obviously, that I know like the back of my hand, and how much slower I am and how many more episodes it takes for new DLC stuff. Or, you know, the DLC stuff is a little bit harder, but experience counts for a lot.
Bearer of the curse, until...
Okay, so we're at 40-40 so far, and we could start putting more into faith, but I think what we want is more endurance right now, so we can start dealing more damage. Well, we want a better hat, I swear. This fashion soul's just not working for me. I do like that, if only for the item discovery. No defense, though. Yep. Do we have anything else up? What level is the mace at? Is it 5? Yep. We have dragon bones now. That means we can upgrade the bow.
Huh.
Which would be right here. We can also reinforce this shield, if only to give it a little bit more stability, since we seem to be using it so much. Doesn't it give... I could have sworn you got more, maybe not as much as I... Oh, okay, yeah, it's giving a very minor amount as I upgrade it.
I'll be around.
Anyways, so if we want to go to Aldia's, I believe Shaded Woods is the way to get to it. which would be here, the Fork Road. Straight ahead. Should give us the, like, muddy pool wraparound, yep. So this is the one thing I really wish that was different in the game. Having to put on and take off the King's Ring every time, which I suppose we can read about while we... I forgot to buy that other ring. A powerful soul is like a curse, and Vendrick, the King of Drangleic, used a powerful soul to keep the curse at bay. King Vendrick sought greater souls and made the giant's strength his own, but even still, the curse overcame him. I wish it was like the PAL cards in Metal Gear, and that it would just recognize that it's in your inventory, not that you had to equip it every single time. Whatever, minor complaints. There are enemies around here that can petrify you very quickly if you're not careful. I want to say it's those kobolds. In fact, Albia's in general is just sort of a dangerous area. I can't remember if these are the same little guy like kobolds in the beginning of the game. I can't remember if they are initially hostile to you or not. Looks like they're leaving me alone for the most part. So I will leave them alone for the most part. And if I kept up my end of the bargain with helping out Lucatiel, she would be found here as well. Alas, I seem to have forsaken her. And this entrance here, I'm reminded of Gears of War 3, I think. Is that how the opening cinema goes? You fight on the manor steps? I don't know. I seriously doubt it's actually a design influence, but something about dropping down into that pool there just does that for me. Some stuff on the side, too, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Time for some fun. Sure, let's see if somebody will help me out with Aslatiel. This would be Lucatiel's brother. Apparently I am ready to take out. Sometimes they will drop his sword, which is an exact replica, more or less, of Lucatiel's sword. This got me the first time. You want to get under the dragon as he waketh up, because otherwise he is just going to charge the middle. Kind of like that. There's a bunch of other little interesting tidbits here and there. Unfortunately, like, you want to talk about the graphical, like, downgrade from the original trailer stuff. This place probably suffers the most.
Please, just stay away. No, please, don't come near me. Nothing good will come of it.
I think that's Navon, I want to say, or I might be mixing up with another caster name, but he's sort of got an identity crisis thing going on that I barely ever really explored, but it culminates in a bunch of assassination missions and things like that, so that's, you know, for your own fun. If that it has some very powerful spells as well, though, for casters, so for some people that may be worth pursuing. I mean, I've just never really bothered. If you do end up releasing him from there, he'll end up invading you a bunch. apparently is not the easiest opponent to go against. And somebody is dual-wielding... So those are the Lady of Pyromancer swords, and he's got magic buffs on both of his things. It's interesting to note that if you do buff them through that, they apparently also increase spell damage. Let's see. There's the front. We're doing both of them. Interesting to note that these mirrors are of the same design as what is used by the Looking Glass Knight, or the Mirror Knight as I kept calling them. Seeming to suggest that these are a creation of Lord Aldia, this keep, and that the knight is also a creation of Aldia. Some weird stuff about the facsimile of a soul and creating a man, etc., etc. The Dark Reflection. Nietzsche looking back at you from the abyss, and whatever stuff I'm quoting right now that just sounds like babble. Guy's got a strong affinity for dragons, though. That much is clear. As well as keeping things in cages. I don't think we need to mess with the basilisk. Nope. But Vile feels like messing with this basilisk, so that's cool. This will make my life a whole lot harder. Yeah. Can't really complain. This is mainly used as a tool to block off an area because we have to worry about destructible walls in the next place. He's using a lot of herbs to get charges for that. Guy wants to help fight the boss. That I can sympathize with. Left. Okay. There's supposed to be a bonfire around here. There's some other stuff dealing with the pit as well as that sewage stuff that will destroy your weapons, or armor rather. Honestly, I'm trying to remember what is actually in there, but I think maybe a key. Can't remember. I don't think it will degrade your weapons. No, okay. I'm going to rely... Oh, no, I'm about to get jumped. Aldia's key, that's what we want. And you need to make sure not to hit the walls either. Vile, on the other hand, is... Oh, well, decided to go naked too. Sheet, I guess. Now it's all just about getting your gear back on. It's +1. That. Chloranthy. And the last one was Flynn's, and then we get the armor. And then we get the chest. Or the hand gloves, rather. I have no idea. It should be at the bottom, right? And then you get the women. I don't know. Okay. Back on track. More drip bones. transfer? Yeah, here. Bug's worth it, but that's just me. And this lets you skip over some cages, I think. There are some other things that you can get him to smash open that will also let you find cool stuff, but we're not really going to mess with that. And it's one of these doors. I don't think it's in this one. It's kind of want to get to the boss. This guy's been patiently helping me with the boss. I believe it is this door. I need to... Yeah! You don't even really need to fight this guy if you want, but I'm guessing Vile wants to. Got just enough that we should be fine. I think we are going to try to use the bow and poison arrows for that matter. Yep. Oh, this is bad. Plus one. All the Sun Bros helping me out in this playthrough. Cool area though, like it a lot. Giant bird cage for a dragon, more or less, with an open top. And out here you're getting large stone pillars that are very reminiscent of, those trees from the first Dark Souls in the very intro, but clearly if they are trees, they would be petrified or something. I don't know. It's weird, the things that remind me of things. I'm not entirely sure this all makes complete sense to me either in terms of location-wise stuff. Again, it's not nearly as bad as going up to the Iron King stuff off of Earthen Peak, but still. This would be the Dragon Area. Very cool area. For me, it was a very annoying and hard area my first time through.
Bearer of the curse. Long have I awaited one such as you. One who might shatter the shackles of fate. One who can set me free. Bearer of the curse. It was my own manifestation that led you here. The ancient dragon has watched over the world for eons past. Take this. Do not resist. The dragon welcomes you.
So that line there, it was my own manifestation that led you here. The best guess I have for the interpretation of that line is that the Firekeeper in the opening cinematic is actually somehow linked to her. I'm not necessarily saying is her in the future or something like that, but just has some sort of relative link to the Emerald Herald. It's that, or what is at the bonfire in Majula is an illusion of some kind. Speaking of which, how much time do we have right now? I think we can make it through the dragon area. I'm not the best at the dragon area, though, so I want to go and spend my souls, because I am cautious like that.